What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It has been about 10 or 11 days now since I've been in the garage, and I want to explain a little bit on what's been going on. A lot of you guys follow me on Instagram, and every now and then I post stories up, but just recently I posted up a story where I ended up back in the ER for the same reason why I went to the ER the first time, October 3rd. Coincidence? October 3rd I went to the ER, and November 3rd I went to the ER. But the second time I went to the ER, it was for the same reason but less aggressive. And I didn't take the ER this time. My mom drove me to the hospital. I sat there for 7 hours before they finally got me a room. Mondays are the busiest days for the hospital, so every room was jam-packed, every hallway was jam-packed, and my pain for the chest was toned down where it was bearable, so I sat there for 7 hours because I wanted to speak to a doctor who could diagnose me and tell me what was actually going on. I did multiple blood pressure tests, multiple blood draws. I did a full chest scan, and good news is that it is not heart attack related, and my heart is actually in great condition. My lungs are also in great condition. It's not a lung issue. The doctor that I was speaking to, Dr. Jeffrey Chien, he actually was in my shoes before, so he was saying that he knew exactly what was going on with me based off my symptoms and all of the pain travels that was going through my chest. And I can't even pronounce the word. It's reflex, also known as GERD, G-E-R-D, short-term acid reflux. So after about 8 hours in the ER, I finally came home with some different medication, and I'll tell you what, it's been a couple of days now since the ER visit, and I'm feeling a ton better. I've changed my diet, kind of sort of changed my sleeping habits and my eating habits. I've already lost 11 pounds just by changing. I'm feeling a ton better now. Hopefully the recovery process is quicker. The recovery time frame for GERD is like 2 to 4 months. So I'm feeling a little bit better. I definitely now have to get this car out of here just to help with the medical bills. I spoke on the phone with like a program, and they kind of gave me my estimated bill, and it's out of the roof. I'm starting today a little late because I was on a phone interview for Covered Cali, which I didn't qualify for, and now I'm waiting for Medicare. So I was on the phone with them for a little while, and it's going to be a process for them to go through my application to tell me if I'm qualified to help me with my bills and such like that. I know a lot of you guys has been asking about merch. Merch obviously helps with everything: project, place, bills, so on and so forth. The biggest support that you guys are giving me is smacking that like button, and most importantly, watching these videos. So I don't have any merch anymore, or on hand, or anything in the process of, you know, providing back to you guys, but we are working on something here soon. But I'll tell you guys one thing: this sweater right here, super comfortable. S1 Built just hit 10,000 followers on YouTube, and they are doing an all-wheel drive kit giveaway. If you guys want to shoot them a follow, S1 Built on YouTube, S1 Built on Instagram. Check out the website as well too. Figure out how you can enter yourself in their giveaway if you guys are planning to go all-wheel drive. I don't want to get too deep into the whole medical thing, guys, but I'm just letting you guys know that that's what I've been up to. I've just been trying to recover, and I'm doing okay now. So I want to get back on the car. I'm not sure where we left off. I think the last thing we did was painting the radiator support and reassembling the front end a little bit. And I did mention in the last video of this car that we were going to do the MLS head gasket. So I finally got my ARP head bolts. It's right here in the Submit Racing box, along with something else for the KRX. I'll open that in a minute. I got a package right here from Automotive Anatomy. I did not expect this. It just showed up one day. It was sitting on the table. I didn't know who it belonged to until we flipped it over, and I was like, wait a minute, that's mine. I don't want to waste any more time jabbering, guys. Let's undo everything we installed on the cylinder head so we can pull it off. I don't even remember the order, but I am taking it out as if it's a B series. So we have the cylinder head removed off the car right here with the intake manifold. It wasn't much stuff attached to that to have to take the intake manifold off the head. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna clean the surface of the block right here and get it ready for the new parts. But I just got a package in from B&R Fitting right here, big little box, and this has a V-band clamp for the KRX and all the fittings that I need to put onto the back of the block right here, so we can put our dashboard line to the turbo. I'm gonna take off the filter, put an OEM Honda one, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Got a V-band for the KRX. Here is all the fittings that I need to button up this car. We have the block fitting, T fitting. This is steel and not brass. It has dashboard fitting right here for the dashboard line that goes to the turbo. We're gonna install that in just a second. I got some extra dash 10 steel weld bung. If you guys saw the last video, I ran out, so I had to go to Kel to get these. Right here I have a GT series return flange. It is smaller than your regular T3 flange, which is this guy. You can see the difference in length. They are different. And this is for the eBay Turbo. This is for my spare 35R. So I got this one just to have it. So these fittings, Brian already provided them with Teflon on it, and again, I prefer steel over brass because brass can break in the block after vibration, and steel over aluminum because that could happen the same way with brass breaking in the block. So this one right here, I'm gonna screw in first. I'm gonna put this oil pressure sensor to the back port right here on the T-fitting, and I'm gonna use this guy, which is I think 24, and I'm gonna use this guy to drive this fitting into the block, and then we'll install the dash 4 after. When it becomes snug, you have to make sure you point the port for the turbo feed in the direction you want it to point into. In my case, I am going to point that hole towards the driver's side. So I decided I'm gonna wrap up tonight. I gotta eat my last meal before it's too late. So I got the surface cleaned, got the new oil filter, got the feed adapted to the block, got the feed line ran beforehand. It should be ready to reassemble tomorrow. We'll do the head studs and then the MLS head gasket. No copper spray because we're not boosting a ton. And then the bottom of the head, I'll just clean it. It wasn't blown head gasket, doesn't need to be resurfaced, and I'm just gonna reverse the whole process. So I am wrapped up. I'm gonna close up. I'm gonna feed the cats, and I'll see you guys in a second. Now let's open this guy up and see what we got inside. So right here we have the head bolts for the D16A6 D16 kit, and you can also use this with the mini VTEC. Now I am not throwing a VTEC head on this car because I want to keep it fully stock EF engine, you know, D15B2, just in case somebody wants to take off the turbo kit for whatever reason, or if the turbo blows up later down the road, or something happened, or you just don't want the turbo kit for a little while. I'm going to include the stock header so that way you can put it back on the car. If you live in California, you can probably smog it. If you don't live in California, it wouldn't matter. But I want to keep it in the stock formation. But I'm doing the head studs right here because I want to get that extra insurance, since I am going to be swapping over to an MLS head gasket anyways. So this is what we're going to be using today. This is a vibrant bottleneck style resonator. I was watching garage built Hondas, and they had installed one of these on their eBay exhaust CRX with a vibrant muffler, and it sounded awesome. So I kind of want my CRX to do the same thing, and I bought the same one. Man, first thing I noticed, this thing is freaking small. So here's a B series LS VTEC stud kit, same as GSR, same as Type R. My goodness, that thing is a freaking tiny. But when you install these, make sure you put the ones with the Allen headed side facing up, and be sure to use the ARP provided assembly lube right here on both ends. Now you may be thinking, you know, is this overkill? For stock motor, not looking to make a lot of power, maybe it's overkill to put head studs in here, but it's insurance how I see it. You know, when you do an all motor LS VTEC B20 VTEC, you can use stock GSR head bolts that are perfect length to use, but most of the time I do ARP head bolts because it's extra insurance. You never know, later down the road you might want to boost it, later down the road you might want to, you know, make more power. It's one less thing to worry about. Now yeah, you can change it later down the road or whatever the case may be, but because we're already swapping to an MLS head gasket, we might as well just swap this out as well, you know, because it's not that much more expensive, and it's already in the process of doing so. And it goes the same way for the water pump and stuff. If the engine's out of the car, you might as well do the water pump, timing belt and stuff while it's out of the car, so you don't have to try to, you know, squeeze your hand in between to do it when it's already in the car. Get it done, get it out of the way, and don't have to worry about it until the next service limits. So we're doing these ARPs. I'm just screwing them in. I didn't see any height difference, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put these all down into the hole. For some reason, this one right here sits really tall. Not sure why. So these studs into the block are supposed to be hand tight only. I just did socket tight, so I just kind of snugged it, and that was that. You can put the lubrication on here now, get it all nice and lubricated before slapping the head on, or you can put it on the nut and it'll lubricate as it is tightening down. It is important to make sure that these holes are not filled with oil before you tighten these down, because what I was told, met a gentleman in the junkyard, and he was like, when you put head bolts in oil before putting it into the hole, that oil sits at the bottom of the hole, and then when you're tightening up the stud or the head bolt, it feels like it's already tight, but really it's not, because what it is doing, it is compressing the oil in the hole, and you think it's tight. So over time, it becomes loose, the stud or the head bolt becomes loose, or you blow a head gasket, or prematurely blow a head gasket because that oil tend to move, I guess, you know, through the threads over time. So I made sure I clear all these holes out with oil, lubricated the stud, torqued them down hand tight, and now we are ready for the head gasket. Clean the head gasket a little bit. Some head gasket comes with, like, I don't know, protective layer or something. So I put 2 bolts on and just shot them down with the gun real quick, so that way the surface is flat and compressed on the head gasket, so that way if there was any oil seeping through, it's not going to get in between the head gasket. So now we'll put all the ARP hardware on here and we're going to torque them down. I'm just going to drive these down, no torque. So for these head studs, ARP call for 60 foot-pounds in 3 sequence. Normally, when it's 3 sequence, whatever the final torque spec is, I divide it by 3, so that way we can go in increments of 3. And I got my book right here to tell me what the torque sequence is as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to it, starting off at 20 foot-pounds. Anybody watch Motion Auto TV? He just got a set of Tekton tools from Tekton themselves. I've ran this torque wrench and it feels awesome. It clicks really nicely, feels really quality, and I freaking love this thing. Second sequence is gonna be 40. And last torque sequence is going to be 60 foot-pounds. Wow, guys, I just slipped this socket. B series, I'm so used to using the 1/2" 12 point for these ARP nuts, and the single cam is actually a 12 point. The more you know. Guys, we have an MLS head gasket installed as well as the ARP head studs. This thing should be ready for some boost. It's also going to be there for whoever wants to do mini-me, VTEC, or turn up the boost. Studs are there for you guys. It wasn't much more to just add into this budget build, so I figured I'd do so. Right now, I'm just going to go ahead and put everything back together other than the turbo kit. And just wrap up everything here. We have the rest of the stuff to do, the return line, and we still got to do the test pipe, oil, and then we can turn this car on. I'm gonna save that for another video. I'm just gonna go ahead and knock this out real quick since I don't have my lamp hooked up right now, because last night it started raining. Obviously I don't have the tarp, so I had to disconnect all of the electricals because it was still live. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use my lamp to get me through tonight, and I think that's pretty much gonna be it for this video. I'm an idiot. If you look at this stud and this guy, this is like stepped up higher. I said that this stud was sitting much taller than the rest of them, not realizing that the cylinder head is the reason why this one sits taller. Alright guys, so I am going to wrap up this video right here. We made some major progress, and now that we got the head studs installed and the MLS head gasket installed, we can finally put everything back into the car permanently for the last time. We're gonna save it for the next video though. Hopefully in the next video we can get this car turned on. It's not much more to do to get this car ready to be fired over for the first time with the turbo kit. Big shout out to Steven and Joaquin. They came by right now, brought me some dinner. We were just chilling here for like an hour or so. They just took off, and I'm gonna wrap up so we can jump inside and, you know what I'm saying? One last look right here, guys. Check this out. Everything is all installed left to right other than the turbo kit, but if you look at it, looks freaking bone stock-ish. If you guys enjoyed this video a little bit, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you guys want to stick around for the first start of this turbo sleeper Civic wagon, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and also don't forget, be sure to follow S1 Built on Instagram and on YouTube. Check out the product and the website in the description below. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Wait. Before we really close this video out, guys, Automotive Anatomy. Let's open it up. Yo, Gus, thank you for this, man. Automotive Anatomy. Be sure to check out their YouTube channel as well. I'll stick it in the description below. This shirt is sick because 1, Automotive Anatomy, 2, it's freaking great. Just like the wagon. We out.